During the last 2 centuries, an enormous number of people have decided to migrate from the rural areas to urban communities. Presently, a large population, especially in developed countries, reside in major towns and some megacities. With such a large population living in urban areas, the occurrence of strange and weird things becomes inevitable. Some of these weird incidents leave behind mysteries which probably could not even be solved by Sherlock Holmes. These incidents may include pursuers in the sky and a telephone number that one should never call, and more. Let's go through some of the most intriguing urban mysteries we could find. But before we begin, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our upcoming videos. Let's begin. Dream Flyers. On the 30th of April 2015, a Redditor, namely Marcus_Yellow, uploaded a picture of a strange flyer which was found in Portland, Oregon. It read, "Have you been having strange dreams?" The Willamette Valley Survey is investigating a recent spike in bizarre, unexplainable dreams. The poster ended by asking the readers to call a mysterious phone number and to share with them any strange nighttime visions they had. All those who dared to call on the number given on the flyer came across this automated voicemail. "Thank you for calling the Willamette Valley Survey. Please leave a detailed account of your dream after the tone. Transcripts or audio from your report may be duplicated in other media." Persons who left their dream record received an automated thank you message. Strangely, they also started receiving calls in the middle of the night. These calls would disconnect before being answered. Online sleuths quickly traced the phone number, which previously was owned by Sophie School Jewel, a German-language summer camp, but its director declined their involvement in the incident. Again, in 2019, more posters bearing pictures of similar flyers popped up in Utah. These flyers claimed to be from the Happy Valley Dream Survey, and the telephone number was also different. The number was traced to Las Vegas, Nevada. On dialing the number, a short voicemail was heard.
Please leave a detailed description of your dream at the tone.
Those who called on the number started getting strange text messages which counted down to 5th of September 2020, but nothing happened, and ultimately the dream call saga faded away. A similar incident had occurred in 2009 when flyers popped up in London, Cuba, and New Zealand, claiming this man had been reported to have turned up in over 2,000 persons' dreams across the world, but it was also proven to be a hoax created by Italian sociologist and marketing strategist Andrea Natella. Bedtime Burglary. A Miami resident, Laura Lucas, returned home after having fun with her friends and went to sleep on her couch. During her sleep, her CCTV captured a mysterious figure appearing from the shadows and entering the home, walking past the sleeping Laura and looting her cash and jewelry and swiping the keys to Laura's Audi. Her dog, Cooper, also failed to perform his guard duties. Despite having CCTV footage as evidence, Laura has no idea who this burglar is. Police could not make out anything as the resolution of the CCTV footage is not good. Laura is convinced that the figure seen in the CCTV was a man pretending to be a woman by wearing long hair. Kryptons Sculpture. CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia holds a mystery. There stands a sculpture in the middle of the grounds of the headquarters called Kryptos, which was created by artist Jim Sanborn. It was unveiled on the 3rd of November 1990 and consists of a wavy copper screen having 1,800 characters that contain secret encrypted messages. 8 years after the unveiling of Kryptos, CIA analyst David Stein succeeded in cracking 3 of 4 coded messages. After working for 400 hours, a year later, Jim Gillogly, a California-based computer scientist, informed that he had also deciphered the same 3 sections using a computer and had gotten the same answer. Translation of the first section read, "Between subtle shading and the absence of light lies the nuance of illusion." The other 2 messages were longer, more cryptic in their meaning. These focus on themes of secrecy, discovery, and intelligence gathering. The 4th message of Kryptos remains unsolved despite continuous efforts made by the large crypto community. The final section contains 97 characters. Jim provided a few clues on how to decipher this section. In November 2010, he revealed the letters from 64 to 69 stand for Berlin. In November 2014, he informed a reporter the letters from 70 to 74 spelt clock, whereas in 2020, he shared that the letters from 22 to 34 decrypt to east-northeast. Jim is still working on deciphering the intriguing message. Baked Bean Bandit. The population of the serene village of Wannosh, Surrey in England is just 3,400 individuals. One prankster living in the village has a unique affinity for unusual pranks. Most pranksters use eggs as their weapons of choice. However, in August 2021, villagers were baffled by the use of baked beans poured into their letterboxes, onto their doorsteps and smeared over their cars. Neighbours looked at each other suspiciously and observed unusual use of each other's grocery cards, but did not blame anyone. Police posted the sauciest pictures of the crime scene on the Facebook page, showing a pile-up of discarded beans cans alongside a grey car with sauce dripping down the driver's side window. Well, the prank mystery was shelved unsolved. The Holland incident. The town of Kirkby in Asheville and Nottinghamshire in England was a quiet place with routine life. On Sunday, 13th of July 1980, silence prevalent in the town was disrupted while the annual event of Holland was underway at the Holland Showground at Kirkby in Asheville. The event included a junior band marching competition. About 500 children forming part of 11 different bands and coming from up to 40 miles away were there to participate. On their arrival, some of the children started complaining to be feeling uncomfortable and tired. At about 10:30 a.m, the children started to collapse. It seemed that fainting was contagious, and a large number of kids fainted. They experienced symptoms like streaming eyes, sore throats, dizziness, numbness, nausea, and a lingering metallic taste in the mouth. One of the victims, named Susan Rook, who was 13 years old, claimed that she felt as if her bones had disappeared. Approximately 300 persons, mostly kids, fell victim to this wave of fainting. 259 patients were taken to the hospital, but luckily all of them recovered swiftly. Different theories were evaluated regarding the cause of this incident. Some thought that children fell victim to some type of food poisoning. Others attributed it to the gas clouds caused by the spray of pesticide called tridamorph in nearby fields. The British government banned the use of tridamorph in 2000 as it was found harmful to humans. Just one day after the incident, Dr. John Nicholson, spokesman for the British Psychological Society, related it to the theory of mass hysteria as kids faced the anxiety of performance, which probably resulted in a psychological effect. However, so far the questions about this mystery remain unanswered. LAX Jetpack Mystery. On 30th of August 2020, Air Traffic Control received a call indicating a humanoid flying over Los Angeles. The pilot of Flight American 1997 informed that a guy in a jetpack just passed him who was 300 yards out of LA and finally at 3,000 feet.
Tower, American 1997, we just passed a guy in a jetpack.
Some isolated sightings of similar jetpack riding persons were reported in October 2020. It was reported at 6,000 feet, and again another was reported by the Boeing 747 pilot at 5,000 feet above LA in July 2021. This time they managed to get a photo. It's mind-boggling as jetpacks are not commonly available, and also because LA-based company Jetpack Aviation claimed that currently the fuel capacity of jetpacks is not sufficient enough to fly a rider to 3,000 feet and then land safely. Some people think that these jetpacking freestylers might not have been alive. In November 2021, an LA police helicopter sighted an object which was a balloon effigy of a Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Probably the previous jetpack sightings were also just balloons mistaken for humans with flying backpacks. Blackcopter Conspiracy. On 7th of May 1994, a black helicopter was reportedly seen chasing a young teenage boy for 45 minutes on the outskirts of Harahan, Louisiana. The boy reported that the men from the helicopter pointed guns at him, but abruptly discontinued chasing him and again boarded the aircraft and flew away. In Washington, another group of people traveling in a car experienced a similar incident as they were also chased by a black helicopter. They also saw armed men in dark uniforms descending from the helicopter by rope ladders and then instantly retreating in confusion. Presence of black helicopters has been reported several times throughout the USA. Unmarked black helicopters have also been observed over major cities of the USA, including one in Lower Manhattan in April 2018. People offer different reasons for these happenings. In 1996, an alleged image captured over the Gulf Breeze city in Florida has been circulating, which depicts black helicopters near other peculiar aerial objects, but there's a good chance the image was just edited. Oakville Blobs. In Oakville, Washington, the sky remains covered by clouds and it rains for 157 days throughout the year. On the 7th of January 1994, in the early hours, it started drizzling. The rain started at 3 a.m. and at the same time police officer David Lacey was also out on a routine patrol. David realised that it was not an ordinary rainstorm as the wipers began smearing greasily and he could not see the road ahead, and he hurriedly pulled into a gas station. David and his colleague came out and inspected the substance that masked the windscreen. David found it to be mushy and like jello. He realised that the downpour had deposited numerous gelatinous translucent blobs all over, which were just about half the size of a grain of rice. The people who witnessed the downpour claimed that salamander eggs were the closest thing they could compare these globular blobs to. During the period of the next 3 weeks, the jelly-like blobs fell again about 5 times. A resident, Sonny Barclift, found her mother, Dottie, lying on the floor suffering from dizziness and nausea. Due to its severity, she had to remain in the hospital for 4 days. Meanwhile, about 2 to 3 months later, residents across Oakville started suffering from flu and displayed symptoms which appeared when someone touched or handled the strange jelly rain. After examining it under the microscope, doctors reported the presence of blood cells in the jelly. Sonny sent samples from her mother to the Washington State Department of Health for further investigations. They found that the jelly substance contained a type of bacteria which typically resides in the human digestive system. It suggested that the blobs were a fluid waste that had been leaked from an aeroplane toilet, but it was rebuffed by Federal Aviation Administration. They indicated that all commercial aeroplane toilet fluid is dyed blue due to liquid disinfectant stored in the septic tanks of an aeroplane. Some people believe that the distant town was selected for conducting a military experiment to test a new biological weapon. However, no solid evidence was offered to support the claim. Another explanation offered claimed that a military bombing test in the nearby Pacific Ocean blew a school of jellyfish to smithereens. Although the military confirmed that they were conducting bombing runs over the Pacific Ocean in August 1994, they declined any involvement with the strange substance. Another theory suggested that the Oakville Blobs are an example of a phenomenon called the star jelly phenomenon, which has been previously observed in history. It indicates the sudden inexplicable appearance of a range of mysterious gelatinous substances. These substances have been attributed to paranormal reasons and folklore, but are caused by frog spawn masses or byproducts of various strains of bacteria. Whole E Heist. We all come across bumps while driving down a road, especially in the countryside, but coming across a mysterious crater would be a surprise for anyone. On the 30th of January 2019, a weird hole was observed in the middle of Flamingo Road in Pembroke Pines, Florida. Initially, it was considered to be a normal pothole, but workers who came to repair it found a power cable running towards the tree line on the side of the road. Further investigations by the police revealed an entry point to a secret underground tunnel. The tunnel stretched 150 feet beneath the grass across Flamingo Road. It came to an abrupt end next to a bank. FBI investigators opined that the tunnel was being dug for accessing the drive-through ATM of the bank to steal the currency notes from there, or even maybe to reach up to the bank for a bank heist. The tunnel was 2 feet wide and was just sufficient for a lean person to crawl through. During the investigation, police also recovered more power cords, a winch, a small generator, a partially buried wagon, and some other tools. The mystery remains unsolved as no one has been able to figure out what or who was behind this. Can you offer any explanation for any of these suspicious events? Do tell us in the comments. We'll be back soon with another video with super creepy stories for you guys. Until then, have a great time. Goodbye.